Hi and welcome back to another Sunday scripture video. So this is a video reading for the week ahead. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. One for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, one for Thursday and Friday, and one for Saturday and Sunday. And those will be the cards that will help us navigate our way through the week ahead, and also they'll just give you an idea of what to expect, what's coming up. So I will begin by shuffling the cards. I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite deck again, which is my favourite deck. So you'll see it a lot in my videos, and as much as I like to try and add a little variety in every so often by giving you a different deck to just have an experience with, I tend to prefer to then gravitate back to the Radiant deck, because it's the one that speaks to me the most, and the more that a deck speaks to me, the more useful my messages can be, my interpretations of those cards can be. So if you're wondering why I keep using the same deck over and over again, that is my reason why. But I promise you, try to integrate some more decks again soon, just so you can have that experience too. So I shall begin by shuffling the cards. Okay, now the deck is clear. What I'm also going to do actually is, okay, so sorry, I didn't check the dates before I started this. So it's the week beginning Monday the 7th of September. Okay, so it's Sunday the 6th of September is when I will be posting this video, and that is today. So okay, those cards are shuffled, and then I'm just going to place my intention into them. Okay, we shall shuffle the cards and see what comes up. Okay. Okay, so we have our 3 cards. The first card, which is for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, is the 3 of Swords. And this is not a card I like to see. So when I pull this card out for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, which also is a reading for my week as well as your week, it kind of makes me think, great, it's going to be a bit challenging. Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday they're going to challenge us, and they are going to hurt our heart in some way. There is going to be some conflict going on. There are 3 swords going through the heart in this picture, so there are 3 swords that are potentially going to go through your heart. That might mean a loss, a bereavement. It might mean a conflict and a falling out, which is also a loss and a bereavement. And it'll be a loss of something, so it could be the loss of your job, or it could be the loss of your tenancy contract, or it could be the the loss of somewhere that you like to go. So maybe somewhere you'd like to go ends up closing down, and suddenly you're like, you've lost your place, the place that you like to go to every day for your morning coffee, or to sit down and have a tea in the afternoon, or a drink in the evening, or maybe it's the gym that you go to, or the tennis club, or maybe something happens to your car, and your car is really important to you. So the swords through the heart can represent many different kinds of losses and heartbreaks. Yeah, it's not just in terms of romance. So this card can be read as there's a conflict between 3 people, yeah, and it's like star-crossed lovers type of thing, but there's 3 people in the triangle. It's not necessarily that. it's more complicated than that, and it's more wide-reaching and broader. So you know, just be present and be mindful as you journey through the first 3 days of the week that there might be some loss to navigate, and to integrate and process, and maybe that will be something to do with a relationship, you know, an intimate relationship with a partner, or with family, or with a friend, but maybe or at work with a boss, but maybe also it will be something kind of like further afield, and less to do with a person, but more to do with an object or a place. Okay, now I'm actually looking at the card front on, like when I hold it up I can't really see the card very well. So now I'm looking at the card, and yeah, and I'm struck by the fact that, okay, that there are these like storm clouds overhead with you know, it looks like really heavy rain and lightning coming out of them. So it's like there's going to be storm clouds overhead for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's going to be a bit tough, and it's going to challenge your heart, but it's not going to destroy your heart. Yeah, it's like, and you will recover from it, and you'll be okay. And there's no like blood coming out of this heart, so it's not like a mortal wound. It's just a hurt, an injury, something that wounds you in your heart. That can be many things, but you will get past it, and you will grow and learn from that experience. Thursday and Friday is the 3, so we've got another 3, the 3 of Pentacles, and this is a very different card. Yeah, so this one is kind of like swords are all to do with like intellect and thought and speaking your truth and the mind and stuff. So you know, maybe the wound has also got something to do with that. Maybe it's as simple and also as complicated as someone is speaking their truth to you and it really hurts, or you and someone else or 2 other people are, you know, in dialogue together and having a conversation about something, and it becomes really pointed and really bitchy and really painful and wounding, and so that is where the pain comes from. So just be aware and be careful of your words over those 3 days, and try to remain as peaceful and as grounded and as diplomatic and loving and kind as possible. And then maybe you can avoid, you know, 1 to 3 of those swords. The 3 of Pentacles, so in this card we see a sculptor, an artisan, and he is hard at work, chiseling away at this stone, creating a beautiful piece of artwork, a statue. And then by him there are 2 figures, and one is kind of like, looks like a bit like a joker, or a performer of some kind, an actor, you know, a street performer, and the other one is a vicar or a priest or a monk. Yeah, so you can make your own interpretation. I don't want to lead you too much, I want to leave it open to you. But one is like a religious person and the other is an entertainer. So they kind of like stand for 2 very different things, and they have come to speak to the artist, to have a dialogue with him. So if we see and we think like the artist is us, so we are the person who is trying to create something new, trying to build something new in our life, and in order to do that we have to step up. So this person has stepped up onto this stool, and Pentacles are all about money, so it's about something in our life that we are trying to create and build in order to better our career or better our finances. It doesn't necessarily have to be a career, just better our finances. But we can see that it looks like it's an artistic endeavor. It's something creative. It's something that we kind of need to build from the ground up. It's like we're having to carve it out of stone. So there's this flat piece of stone, and we can't see the beauty in it, but we can imagine it. And other people can't see the beauty in it that we can imagine. And if they were to imagine it, maybe they'd imagine something totally different. And that we are confident that we know what we want to create, and we can envisage it strongly enough in our mind to pick up this chisel and start, you know, tapping away at this stone in order to reveal the beauty within, yeah, whether that is, you know, a figure or a scene of some sort. So this is like hard work, and it is like trying to get like blood out of a stone essentially, but it's worthwhile work, and it's something we're really passionate about. It's something that we've been called to step up, yeah, to be a bit more grown up and a bit more responsible in order to make this happen. But it's something that we really deeply believe in. And that's always a good feeling, to have something you believe in, a new project to be working on, and it kind of like gives you a bit of purpose and puts you back on path. And after the beginning of the week, we're going to need that, especially something to just like make us feel a bit more grounded again, and a bit more kind of like safe and centered within ourselves. And this is all happening in a religious building here, in a chapel, so it's like whatever we're creating it in a safe space. So maybe we're creating it in our home, in our safe space, before we send it out into the world. And the two people that have come to inquire upon us they're questioning what we're trying to do. So we have started and we're hard at work on this project or whatever, and then these two people have come in, and maybe they're people that have employed us and they want to get a progress report, but maybe they're people that are just people that we have, you know, like friends or mentors or whatever, who we have gone to for, you know, conversation or advice and help. And they're both there, and they're like kind of talking to us and asking us questions. And one of them is a performer, and so, you know, he wants to know, well, what's the entertainment value of this thing? You know, is it going to get eyeballs? Are people going to be interested in it? Are they going to want to come and see it, to look at it, to invest in it, to buy it, to spend time looking at it, listening to it, watching it, touching it, you know, whatever. And so, you know, they're kind of like saying these things to you. And then the other person is a religious person. And so they're kind of saying, well, how morally correct is this thing that you're trying to do? You know, have you looked at it from that perspective? Is this a spiritual pursuit? Are you doing this out of love and kindness for other people? Or are you doing it purely out of selfish motivations for yourself to make money? And so they're sitting on your shoulder, and it's almost like, you know, like having the good side and the bad side of the conscience, the angel and the devil on your shoulder. And so as you're trying to create what you're trying to create, they're going to be challenging you slightly, yeah, but they're also going to be keeping you on track, because we need like to be encouraged, but we also need to be questioned when we're doing something, to make sure our intention is right and our heart is in the right place, so that what we are creating is created from a pure place rather than just a mercurial place. The King of Cups is then our card for the weekend. And this is a good place to land. So cups are all about love and relationships and romance, and you know, it can be love of self and harmony within self. It can be love with friends or with animals. It can be love with nature, and it can be love with friendships or family. And relationships, romance relationships. So it's a good card, and it's saying better things are coming, but it's kind of like a card that sits in a weird space, because like the king is sitting, his throne is in the middle of this like ocean of water, and the water is all about emotions, and cups are about emotions too. And so, like, he is a king, yeah. So he's got to the pinnacle of the cups, and he is sitting on a throne. So he has conquered quite a lot in terms of love and emotions, and yet he's still sitting in the middle of a stormy ocean. And so maybe this card is saying to us, and there's a ship in the background, and the ship is kind of like red, and it looks like it's either on its way or it's sailing away. And there's a fish too, which is about spirituality. And the king is like sitting, he's like on his seat, but he also looks like he's half tempted to dive into the water, like his foot's kind of edging towards the edge, and he looks like he might want to get off that chair and get into the water and experience this turbulent ocean. And he looks a bit insecure on his throne, like he's sitting there and he's like holding the things that he's supposed to be holding in order to be a king and to be in role. And he's wearing all the garments and everything, but it looks like he doesn't quite know how he's got here, and he's not quite sure he deserves that position, that role. He looks swamped in his robes. They don't look like they fit him. They look like they're too big for him. So it's like he's somehow got to this position, but he's not quite sure how, and he's not really sure if he's worthy of it, or even if he wants it. And you know, the ocean that is like kind of like swelling all around him is kind of making him feel a bit unsettled. And it's almost like when you're standing at the top of the building and you get that weird urge to jump. And I think he's got this weird urge to just slip into the ocean and see what happens when he gets wet and messy within, you know, the swell of that salt water and froth, to see if he'll swim or sink. And that kind of tells us that, you know, by the end of the week, like, we would have reached a place where we feel like we are in charge of our emotions on the surface. Like, we're sitting in this stone throne and we're in charge of our emotions, and you know, we're holding our cup, and this is where, you know, all of the love is, and all of the romances and all of the relationships are, and you know, we've done a lot of personal work, a lot of spiritual work, and we kind of feel like we're more in mastery of ourselves. We're not quite so alienated from ourselves. But through doing that work, through doing that personal work and going on that journey, and it was a really difficult journey, an emotional journey, and this isn't just a journey that you've gone on this week, this is like a longer journey that you've been on for quite some time, but it feels like you will be reaching an end-ish point of this journey at the end of the week. Yeah, so you're sitting in this throne, you're looking around, and you're thinking, okay, so I've done all this work, and I've done all this healing, and I've done all this therapy, and I've done all this deep diving and this meditation and all of these spiritual practices, and you know, you name it, you've kind of like done a load of stuff, and yet you're kind of looking around you and you're realizing that you're on your own on this throne, this hard, cold stone throne, and there's no one else around you. And when you look, there's like a ship in the distance, but with people on it, but is it coming or is it going? Like, is the ship representative of the fact that in order to get where you are, you've had to let go of everyone else in your life, because you've changed and you've drifted away from them, or they've drifted away from you, and so you're all alone at this kind of like apex of your spiritual journey, where you've got so far that you've kind of like changed and evolved and developed, and other people have been on different journeys, and you haven't necessarily, because you've been on more of a solo journey, so you haven't been going to groups and retreats and everything, especially this year. So like, you kind of lost your tribe, but you haven't found a new tribe yet, so you're in this like kind of weird lonely space with, you know, all this love for yourself in your cup. Yeah, so you've done like so much great work because you have all this love for yourself now that you didn't have before, and now you need to look around and find other people and have all this love from other people as well, you know, so that you can love other people and then they can love you in return, and that will keep filling your cup, so it won't be just up to you to fill your cup. But you had to go through this experience in order to you know, you can only learn to fill your own cup fully and completely when perhaps you are all you have to rely upon. You know, not everyone's journey is easy. Some people have really, really hard journeys, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or, you know, it's like everyone's journey is different and unique, and beautiful and blessed in its own way. And at the same time, the ship could also represent new people coming. So it's just saying, don't jump into the water. Don't give up just yet. Don't throw yourself into the turbulent storm of the emotions that are kind of threatening to erupt from within you. All of the loss, all of the grief, all of the sadness at what you have lost as a result of trying to heal and better yourself. Because, like, hope is coming on this ship. And the ship is red, so the ship is about the root chakra, so it will give you grounding, it will give you stability, it will give you strength. So we can look at this ship in two different ways, and I think it's important to look at the ship not just in one way but in two different ways in this card, and to have faith that you know, things will improve, things will get better, and you have become the king of your kingdom in a very big way, and that is a great thing. It's just a difficult place to be as well. You know, being king is a lonely role. It's not necessarily a role with lots of friends. So that is the reading for the week, and I hope that will help you navigate your week. And give you something to think about, something to work on and towards, and something to also journal about. And I will see you back here for another Sunday Scripture next weekend. In the meantime, take care, blessings, and see you soon. And if you would like to receive that video, do subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on the next one coming. And if you're interested in speaking to me and getting a personal reading, or just asking a question in general about something, then do contact me via my website lemonrosepetals.com, and I will see you again here soon.